What is going on, everybody? Welcome back once again to our channel, through Failure and Success, where we come out to you twice a week. Okay, if you haven't got that memo, we come out to you twice a week. And by the way, in today's video, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. Right? We just heard about what happened with Silicon Valley, the bank collapsing, and the way that it did is just amazing, right? In amazing in a way on just anything can happen. Anything can happen and things can happen. And so how the market is moving, how everything is moving, specifically when it comes to the real estate market, is very unpredictable because as you already know, I personally am involved in the real estate market world. And so what I see on a day-to-day basis, you have potential buyers coming into the market and saying, you know what, yes, I do want to buy, but interest rates are high. Yes, I do want to buy, but prices are still very high. Very true. Very, very true. Everything is very true. And that is one of the things that makes most people stop from wanting to buy a house. And then you got the other side seller saying, well, yes, I want to sell, but I don't think it's a good time to sell because uh, where am I going to go if I end up selling my house? Where am I going to go, and who's gonna buy my house? So that is kind of like the dilemma where everybody is at right now. And so I want to peel that apart as much as I can, the best way that I can, and in the hopes that I can connect with you at a simple level. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, just me being me, connecting with you at that level. Just coming from the level of from what I understand, what is happening, and just transmitting that information to you as much as I can. So that's what I want to talk to you today. And so, with that being said, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. Consider liking the video. Consider subscribing to the channel. Consider sharing this video to whoever many people you can. We have a goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, December 20. That's the recording of this video is March 2023. We have a goal of 10,000 subscribers. Right now we are at 2,000, so we have a lot of ground to cover. So, but I believe that we're gonna get it. I truly believe that we're gonna get to the 10,000 subscribers, and so but we can't do that alone. And I believe that we can do that with your help. And so if you haven't watched any of our other content that we have, watch some of our content, consider subscribing, consider liking the video, and let's dive into this subject. But anyways, you may or may not know, but I'm involved in the real estate world. Okay. Yes, I do sell homes for a living. Yes, I do buy homes for my clients for a living. But more importantly for me, when it comes to that, is that I'm there for the client when he or she needs it the most. What do you mean he needs it the most? Where I'm there when the individual is being stuck with their mind. Okay. If that person does not have the ability to buy a house, okay, that's where I come in and say, you know what? Maybe you ought to pay some of this debt that you got going on right now. This is not your market. Even if this is the market that we got going on right now, where interest rates are high, there's still a lot of buyers out there right now that are, saying, this is the time for me to do it because everybody's pulling back. I got to push forward. Great, that's your market. But if you're that individual who just got married, maybe is considering raising a family, maybe is considering having kids, and you have about $20,000 to $30,000 in debt, and you bring in about 8,000, maybe $10,000 a month to your household, maybe this is not your market. Maybe you ought to consider paying some of that debt. And so that's where I come in. Same thing for the sellers. Hey, you know what? I consider selling my house. I consider doing so. I consider doing this. And so therefore, I gotta sell my house. Okay, but what's really the motivation to why you gotta sell the house? Why is it you gotta sell? Is it just because you want to get the money? Just because you think this is a good market? Because if you think this, let me tell you right now, this is this is not 2020. This is not 2021. This is not definitely March, February, January of 2022. Okay, where the seller had control of the market. We're in a completely different market. We're in a completely different market that we were in 2008. We're in a completely different market that we were in the 1980s. We're in a completely different market that we were in the 1930s. Okay, The point that I'm trying to make is that nobody really knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows. What I need you to do is what you really need to do is you need to focus on what you can control. What you can control. And what you can control is paying off your debt, okay? Raising up your income. If you need a side hustle, then you must ought to do that, okay? Get into the maybe the real estate world. You might say, well, this is not a good time, to get into to the real estate world. They're going to a recession. CNN, Disney, all of these great companies were built during a recession. Maybe this is the time where you can connect with people. Maybe this is the time where you ought to get in touch, build relationships with people, and get out there, get your name out there, but be of service. People are not going to want to buy a house right now. People are not going to want to sell a house right now. So, what you need to do, okay, is connect with people. What happened? This is the expire market. This is the market where homes didn't get to sell. This is this is that kind of market where homes were not able to sell. So what's going to happen if you're that individual that's going to bring value to that family of four, okay, husband, wife, and two kids, and saying, you know what, I couldn't sell my house last time because my realtor was not able to help me. If you're that kind of realtor, if you're that kind of individual that provides the value in being of service for that family, for now through the rough times, and you are able to stick with them until you're able to push through. I'm telling you right now, the the future is going to look bright. Future is going to look bright. You're going to be able to connect with them, not only with them, but imagine how many family members that person has, how many individuals that person works with, that's going to be able to provide that value for them. So that's what I want to talk to you. And maybe this message is for you realtors. Maybe this message is for all of you who are thinking to get out of the industry. This is not the kind of market that I thought it was going to be. Maybe this is not. Maybe this is not your industry, because if you're here for just about the money, this is not your industry. This is not the industry for you to be in. Let me tell you right now. And I hate to break it up to you. Okay. If you consider getting into the real estate market because you saw the boom of 2 years ago, 2020, 2021, this is not the kind of market, this is not the kind of industry that you want to get into. Because let me tell you something. It's gonna take a lot of work for you to get $100,000 in this business. It's gonna require a lot of work. It's gonna require a lot of rejections. It's gonna require a lot of work for you to be able to put in. And if you're not willing to put into that, then maybe you ought to stay working your 9 to 5, whatever is it that you are at that level at that specific moment in your specific moment in your life. If you thought about maybe, let me get my real estate license and see what I can get on the side, maybe you ought to put it out, that license out to the side, unless you're willing to put in the work, because this is not an easy market. And let me tell you right now, I'm glad. I'm very, very happy. I'm super excited that the market is getting hard, because we're getting back to the normal levels where it's very competitive, where the people that are going to provide value are the ones that are going to succeed. And if you're that individual that is going to provide value, if you're that individual that is going to give them the guidance, the steps that they need to make, okay, not force them into selling, not force them into buying a house, okay. But if you're that individual that is going to force them to not force them, but if you're that individual that is going to guide them through the journey, and you're willing to stick it out, okay, to go through that process, then this is your market. This is where you're going to thrive. This is where you're gonna charge the storm, okay? Because when you charge the storm, okay, think of it like a buffalo. When a buffalo, okay, buffalo live in storms. Okay, when a buffalo decides to go into the storms, they put the head down. They don't give a shit about what's going on outside of the world. Okay, they don't give a damn about what's going on outside of the world. They just put the head down. They know they're going through a storm, and they know that once they get through that storm, there's something better on the other side. So if you're that kind of individual that's willing to go through the storm, you're willing to charge through the storm and go through it, then this is your market. This is the kind of environment where you ought to be. This is where you want to be. But if you're that individual who says, you know what, let me just go ahead and put put my fisher's hat on and let me throw my fisher stick out and let me see what I can catch. This is not going to be your market. And I want to challenge you to all of you realtors that are doing that out there right now, who are not being for your clients in your best interest. You ought to consider, is this what you want to do? Is this something that you're really signed up to do? Because if you thought it was going to be easy money, maybe this is not the market where you want to be. You ought to consider going somewhere else. Go work for somebody else. Go be a supporting role for somebody else, because this is not your market. And by the way, I'm getting very emotional because this is what I love. I never brag about the fact that I'm in the real estate industry. Okay, up until today, yes, I'm in the real estate industry, but in all of my videos, go watch all of my videos. Please go ahead and watch, except for this one, okay? But go watch all of my videos. I never tell everybody I'm in the real estate market. Call me, text me. I will guide you through the process. I'm here for you. I don't say that because that's not me. I'm the kind of individual who's going to give you value, who's going to be there for you no matter what. If you decide to go with another realtor who's going to be there for you, great. I'm glad that I was able to give you that value and provide that for you, provide the way, provide the path for you to be with that person. But if you're going to be with another realtor that's going to be just seeing you as a transactional person, then all power to you. Go ahead and do that. But I don't brag about the fact that I'm in the real estate business, because that's not me. That is not what I do. I'm here to give you value. I'm here to give you content. Yes, you can always reach out for me. You can always put it on the chat. You can always DM me personally. All of my social media is in all of my videos. But that's not what I want you to do. What I want you to do is to just really think about what's really happening right now. And what's really happening, I'll be the one to break it out to you. But real estate 2023, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be easy. Okay. As a matter of fact, I want to show you something right now, because this is very, very, very interesting on what's happening right now, right, with the real estate market. And so I just want to show you what we have going on right now, and hopefully you can see that. But before I get into that, I want to talk to you about this video that I saw from Patrick Bet-David. Man, it was powerful. He's interviewing Barry Habib. Barry Habib is well known for previewing what's going to happen in the real estate market. Okay. He's got this, crystal ball awards of, like, man, you got this crystal ball and you think, okay, this is what's going to happen and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Barry Habib is the one to go to. But in this video, Patrick asks him, hey, where do you think the market is going to go? Where do you think interest rates are going to go? What do you think is happening right now with happening in Silicon Valley? And so Barry Habib gives his topic, and Patrick, challenges him and says, you know what, but this. Okay, what you're saying is this, but this is what we're seeing. So Patrick is more like in the financial world, right? Which is absolutely right. And then you got Barry Habib, who is in the financial world, but also in the real estate world. He sees it from both ways, right? And so Patrick challenges him, and Barry Habib is able to come up with his case to the point where Patrick says, you know what? Next time I refinance my home, I'm gonna go to you. I'm gonna go to you because you're really, really good at what you're saying. So I want to share this with you because this brings a lot of value. And by the way, this is you can find this on his YouTube channel, Valuetainment. I don't take any credit for any of this, but go ahead and listen to this interview.
You're saying that mortgage rates are going to come down.
They have to come down because inflation is coming down.
Barry, some people will say you're talking like a mortgage broker, which
you
were a hell of a good one. You were with GMAC National Sales Director. Your last time you stopped doing loans was 2007. You're like one of the greatest LOs that we've had in the market. So a lot of time when realtors or loan officers say that, you're in
LO means loan officer.
The counter argument to that would be, okay, we saw what happened when we made money pretty much cheap for 12 years, and then we try to get off of it. It didn't work for us to do that. And right now, some will still say a lot of properties are overvalued. The amount of how much home values have increased compared to income has increased. It doesn't match. The saving doesn't increase so people can't afford to buy.
By the way, Yes, a lot of the homes are overvalued right now. That's one of the things that homes are not selling right now because, okay, I just got off the phone yesterday with an individual, okay, potential client that I had, and I give her a CMA. CMA means comparable market analysis in our world, in the real estate world. So I give her a comparable market analysis of what we are seeing in her market, and she goes, "You know what? Your price is too low." I said, "Man, with all the respect, that is not my price. That is just how the market is moving right now." You know, she's saying my neighbor sold, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, I think it was 12 months ago for, X price. Okay, 12 months ago, interest rates were not 7%. They were maybe 4.5%. The interest rate, they have to match whatever price is going on out there. And a lot of the sellers that are coming into the market, they can't seem to understand that. And so your job as a realtor is to educate them, to teach them, okay? You got to plug in the numbers, because if you can't plug in the numbers, if you don't know how to plug in the numbers, you maybe you need to do a little bit of homework yourself before you give them a number and say, you know what, based on the comparable analysis that I saw, 12 months ago and 3 months and 3 years ago, your house is worth X, Y, and Z. Yes, interest were 3%, 2% back then. That doesn't matter. Your numbers need to match whatever the interest rate is at right now. So whatever Patrick is saying here, absolutely 100%. We are seeing a lot of homes being overpriced right now.
Buy a house at today's price.
I have a chart for that to show you that it's a little bit of an interesting scenario. It's not that right now the affordability is worse, but the affordability will improve though, Patrick. There's
how?
Okay, a couple of things. First on this
isn't when you say affordability, forget about the charts for a second. Isn't it when you say affordability will improve
this year?
Okay, so you know what that means to me? That's a very nice way of saying you're about to lose equity in your home. Your property value is going to go down.
So what he's saying here is that affordability is going to get better, right? But what does that mean? That prices in homes, they're going to have to come down. First of all, let me tell you, when during the pandemic, we saw an appreciation of this immense price that we shouldn't have seen. So they are over the clouds right now. So what's really happening is they're really coming down to earth. So because affordability is going to get better, that means that equity in the homes, they're going to have to come down. Now, with that being said, a lot of these homeowners, they have 2 to 3%. This is one of the things that Patrick, and by the way, I'm a big fan of Patrick, but he doesn't say this in this video. Okay. Affordability. Okay. Yes, equity of the home is going to have to come down. However, a lot of these homeowners, they have 2 to 3, maybe 4% interest rate on their homes. Even if one of them, if you have a household of two, okay, one of them loses a job, okay, the house payment is not like it was in 2008, where the payment is going to keep going to go up every single month, every single year. That is not the case. That is not the case. By the way, I don't take both sides. I'm very neutral. I agree with what's happening right now. I understand what's happening right now, but I also understand, where a lot of these homeowners are setting right now. So you got to listen to both sides. And this is a very, very great interview, because Patrick is on one side, but Habib is in the middle of both sides. Now, I'm not on that side. I'm on your side, but I'm kind of like in between. And listen to what happened now.
I think that actually we probably will see about 3% nationwide appreciation this year, because the level of inventory, it's just so tight. We saw already in January, when rates dropped to about 6%, that there were multiple offers around the country.
I'm not seeing that though, and I'll tell you.
In January we saw it. This month it slowed back.
But I'm going to tell you, from a buyer standpoint, I'm not seeing that. From a buyer standpoint, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing from the buyer standpoint, minus 500,000, minus 1 million, minus 200,000. They lowered it by another 299,000. They lowered it by 300,000.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, always will be specific incidences. Obviously, you're right on the specific instances. Yeah. But if you go by the numbers, let's just say from the FHFA or from Case-Shiller, the seasonally adjusted numbers show that real estate values from the very peak after 121 consecutive month rise are down 1% from FHFA, 2.7% from Case-Shiller. Those are the numbers from Case-Shiller. And those are the best two sources that
you know what a seller will say? A seller will say, Barry, I hope you're right. But how come I'm not getting any offers of qualified buyers today?
Because
I hope you're right.
They're hibernating with 7% rates, but that's why this is so important.
But you can't. For you to say, guys, let's lower the rates, it's all going to work itself out.
By the way, you know, I want to. I'm gonna show you. This is really what I want to show. What I want to show you real quick. Okay, because this is exactly where, the topic that they're talking about. Okay, so you got to know the numbers. Okay, you got to understand the numbers. You got to understand the numbers and know exactly what's happening right now. By the way, what I'm gonna give you, whoever, by the way, the name of our channel is Through Failure and Success. Okay, if you got to this channel by mistake, if you got to this channel by just accident, but just by an act of God or the universe, you got here for a reason. So I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to show you right now. Okay. But if you see home sales, okay, you go back to the 1990s, you see these are millions, by the way, okay? 3.2 millions in 1990. Obviously, you saw the boom in 2006, okay? 7.1 was at the peak, okay? Then you got the Great Recession. Then you got the 08s and all the way up to the 15s. Obviously, we saw 4.1, the lowest, all the way up to 5.5, which it was in 2008, 2017. Now, what happened? After that, we saw the 6.1 in 2020. Obviously, we saw a lot of increase. Now, this last year, it went down to 5.0. Okay. So we're going back to normality, which is the average 5.0. Again, remember how I was telling you the prices of the homes, how they were going up in value, and now we're coming back down to the cloud, to below the clouds to where they used to be. This is what I mean. Okay. They were above the clouds, and over here in 2020, 2021, you see this 5.6, 6.1, and then you're seeing it back to the 5.0. Okay. Now, when you see the home sales, obviously, again, you see January 2020 all the way up until November of 2022, 4.0. We do see the decline. Great. That's supposed to happen with interest rates. Now, home prices, okay? Home prices, real estate is a real asset. It's not a paper stock. It's not something that you invest on, and you invest in the stock market. You invest in a paper stock, in an ETF, in a mutual fund, in a life insurance product. This is a real asset, something tangible. You walk in, you open up the door, you step into the home, even if it's a renter's home, you rent it out. This is a real asset, something that you can grab the dirt and touch it. This is what it is. Home prices tend to appreciate. Or obviously, we saw that in 1990, okay, and then 94,000, and then you saw that in 2006. So obviously, the peak was 222,000. What happened after that? You saw the 2009s, 10s, 11s, 165,000 on average. By the way, okay. I remember when I moved to the Inland Empire, I almost bought a house for $78,000, $700 payment. I thought it was a lot. I said, man, this is a lot. Okay. Then I ended up settling in 2012 for a payment of $1,300. I said, man, this is more than what I was. $1,300 nowadays is nothing. Everybody's looking for that payment. Well, you know what? I'm just going to wait until the payments, I get a $1,500 payment. Well, great. You're going to keep on waiting because inflation and everything else, years are passing by. You're never going to get that. So what do we see here? Okay. 2022, we saw the peak, okay, of 385,000, 395,000, okay, 382,000. Now we're expected to go down to 367,000. However, you see that linear growth, the linear appreciation in prices, okay? And again, the inventory, okay? This is one of the things that Barry Habib is going to talk about right now. The inventory, it's just very tight. You saw that in 06 all the way up to 11, it was very high, okay? But when it was very high, appreciation went down in price. And then you got 2020s and 2022s, 2023s, inventory is very low. But what happens to the appreciation? It goes up in value. Less inventory, more appreciation. But interest rates are going up. Guess what? We're not going to see as much appreciation. We're going to see depreciation, but overall, we're going to see appreciation over time. And this is one of the things that I love about Barry Habib, that he doesn't take sides. But again, Patrick Bet-David, tries to make his case, and let's continue to see what happens.
He does not. The
But
mortgage rates are going to trade and follow inflation. Long term.
By the way, listen to Barry Habib, how mellow, how cool he is when he's talking about all of these things that he's got in his play in his head. Okay, explaining
Read 100
everything.
pages this week. Let me play iPad on Monday. I'm telling you, I'm going to read 100 pages by the end of the week because I'm going to read it. Just let me play iPad on Monday. I'm like, no, that's not how life works. First, read 100 pages. Then I'll let you play iPad, right? First, let's lower inflation. Then let's lower.
That's why it's so important, because inflation on a year-over-year basis, it has been stubborn because the comparisons from shelter have propped it up, but also the comparisons from where we were a year ago were relatively high. If we take a look, the date that you should be circling is May 10th on your calendar. That's when we get the inflation data. That begins a string of information.
May 10th.
May 10th.
Okay.
A string of inflation data that will be lower, replacing higher inflation data from the previous year. It will bring the year-over-year numbers down, and we'll get the shelter.
Barry, trust me, everybody wants you to be right. I'm not sitting here saying I don't want you to be right. I want you to be right. But the market.
So again, Patrick, it's a great businessman, great entrepreneur. I love him. I model him. I follow him, and I have a lot of respect for him. And he is where he is, obviously for a reason. Obviously, he's taking his case. He's taking his side in the financial aspect of whatever we got going on. The point is that nobody knows what's going to happen. He knows that. He expects that he's wrong. Okay. He expects that he's wrong. And what I love about Habib is that he just lays it out in a very neutral way, which is what I was trying to explain to you. And that is exactly what he does, which is why I love Barry Habib in the aspect of just giving it to you the way it is and not taking any sides.
Is seeing other things. The market right now, when it comes down to buying car, the national car payment right now is $911 or $920. Just 2 years ago, it was $575.
$911.
How the hell is the average American able to go to that? So rates on $1 million loan 2 years ago, the payment was nothing. Today on $1 million loan at the rates that I'm getting, if I got a 750 credit score, if I can show everything, it's nearly 50x higher. These are
and income is not increasing.
No.
By the way, he's absolutely right. 100%, 1,000%, 1,000%. Think about it like this. He's giving an example of $1 million home, but I give an example of a $350,000, a $500,000 house. Okay. $500,000 house. You got the payment at 3% interest rate. Okay. Your payment is going to be about $2,500. Okay. Now fast forward, that same $500,000 house, okay, which prices have not depreciated as much. They have not depreciated as much. And this is what Barry is trying to say. They're going to appreciate about 3%. Patrick is saying, no, they're not. You don't understand. Everybody wants you to be right. Everybody wants you to be the way you're saying it's going to be, but it's not. Okay. But right now, Barry is going to get into a subject where Patrick is, like, oh, you know what? You're very good. You're right. But in a $500,000 house, that same $500,000 house at a 6%, which they're not right now, they're about 6.7%. 6%, that house payment goes up to $4,000 a month. Now, imagine take a $1 million house, how much that's going to be. It's incredible. Incredible what we're seeing right now. Home prices are overvalued. However, inventory is very low. Interest rates continue to go up. We don't want to go into recession. We're going to keep on pushing the button so that we can calm down the recession. However, prices continue to stay very strong. Very, very interesting.
Income is
by 50%.
No, but it doesn't have to, because you don't use all of your income to qualify for it. So a couple of points. Income, according to ADP, went up 7.2% year over year.
Car payment went up nearly 100%.
You're 100% right.
College is 500%.
Guys, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. It is less affordable. However, in an equivalent state of affordability, you had 20% appreciation. I'm saying 3% appreciation, and predominantly due because you have such unbelievably record low inventory. There's 578,000 units for sale in this country.
I tell you what, here's what I'm going to tell you. You're so good. I'm going to do my next refinance with you. Okay?
I don't do.
Man, I love that. I love that. You see how, Barry Habib, gives his subject. Again, it goes back to what I just showed you, the chart that I just showed you right now. It goes back to the inventory. Okay. If you remember, I shared with you, okay, that inventory is very, very low. Okay. Inventory is very, very low. And as you can see on this chart here, you go back to the 2001, 2005, okay, when you had the dot-com bubble, okay, inventory was 4 point, this, all of this means is 4.6, 4.7 months of inventory. Then you go to the 2006, 2007. How do we get out of all this inventory? Got it. I know what, let's give everybody and their mama, by the way, if you have a dog, I'll give you a loan, by the way, okay? And by the way, I'm not going to tell you that interest rates, your payment is going to go up. No problem. Perfect. I love the payment. No problem. Don't tell me that the payment is going to go up. I don't know it. Out of sight, out of mind. What happened in 2008, 2009? You got the Great Recession, the bubble burst. Okay. It was caused by the lending industry. So all of the times, 2012, we got all of that time still recovering up until this day, recovering from all of that. And now with interest rates going up the way that they are right now, do you really think that builders are going to go out there and borrow money so that they can build more homes while everything is slowing down? And so you expect them to go down in value when there's really not that much inventory? Look at the pink line, 2022, 2.7 months of inventory, the lowest it has ever been. But the appreciation is 12 almost 12.5%. But Habib is saying only 3%. Only 3% for 2023. Perfect. No problem. What's going to happen here? Okay, 2022. Okay, we saw the home prices, okay, at a 12% appreciation. Okay, 385, 382. We're only going to see them about 387. Now, if you go from 2022 to 2023, of course you're going to see a negative depreciation. But when you go up and from the highest, which it was the 200, in 97 in 2021 before pre-pandemic, you're only going to see about 3% appreciation. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. So this is one of the things that, again, just like CNN and Fox, okay, just like you got all these professionals telling you what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. Same thing you're seeing right here. And that's why I love Patrick Bet-David, because Patrick Bet-David has his point of view, okay, but he's able to bring anybody and everybody that can give him an argument. And as you saw here, he was able to give in and say, you know what, you're so good that next time I'm going to do a refinance, I'm going to do my business with you, but I'm not a lending officer, so don't do business with me. But the point is that, man, Patrick Bet-David, he's a stellar man. Okay. He knows what's going on. But with that being said, I make an argument on that, not just because I'm in the real estate world. Okay. I'm in the real estate world, by the way, but you could take any argument. By the way, if you disagree, if you agree, put it in the chat, below, because we want to know what is it that you're thinking. But that is my point. That is what I share with you, because it is going to be very, very interesting. If you're one of those individuals that is kind of like on the fence, like buying or selling, okay, you ought to assess your situation, your financial situation. Reach out to your local realtor, reach out to your local community, a leader who's going to guide you through the process. Okay. If you don't find value in that realtor, okay, you probably need to look for somebody else that's going to give you that value. Okay. You can't settle for the first one that you find in. Okay, what's in it for me? WIFM, what's in it for me? Okay, that realtor has to have that answer for you. With that being said, I hope that you got some value out of this video. I hope that you really did, because this is a subject that I love, and I just want to make sure that I shared that with you, because it is important for me that I share those with you, because I'm sure that one of you, okay, if you're the one that is watching right now, you're gonna want to buy a house in the future. Okay. You're going to want to buy an investment property. You're going to want to get yourself into a piece of real estate that is going to create generational wealth. And you got to understand what's going on right now, because if you miss this opportunity that is about to come up, okay, if you miss this opportunity that we're going to be seeing within the next 12 to 24 months, if you miss it, guess what? You're going to wait another 15 to 20 years. Okay. You're going to wait another 15 to 20 years. So do your research. I hope that this sheet gave you some value. By the way, if you think that you got to see this sheet, you got to see them on a PDF file, go ahead and put it down the chat. I will personally reach out to you and give that to you. But until then, subscribe to the channel, consider liking this video, and share with anybody that you believe is going to get some value out of it, and somebody that you think is going to get a home. Share with them. But until then, live strong. We will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.